questions?
Hey, DW, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com.
Yeah, man.
Could you speak to that year? Was there any psychological warfare involved on your part with Bill? And to bring it into modern times, is there any potential that psychological warfare is the only potential chink in Jimmy Johnson's armor?
Yeah. One of my favorite words in racing is antagonistic, or to be an antagonist. And sometimes that's, that's not just on the racetrack. It can be off the racetrack as well. I think distractions, I speak to them all the time, and Kasey can certainly talk about it too. Anytime you can distract a driver, a team, from doing their job, that's going to make a difference. And Bill was so dominant. I mean, he was in a league all of his own. We couldn't even race him, and so that made it. You had to go. You had to go to your A game, from your A game to your B game. Your A game was on the track. Your B game was off, and we worked really hard at psyching those guys out. That was wasn't that the first year of the Winston Million, '85? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. 85 was the first year of the Winston Million. Bill won that at Darlington, and from there on, his car kind of fell apart after that, and we ragged him about that. And certainly, I don't know if you remember or not, and I don't want to take up all the time because I want Kasey to talk a little bit too, but the last race of the year was at Riverside, and Bill broke a transmission. Well, back in the day, Doug Nash built most of the road racing transmissions for all of our cars. The Doug Nash transmission company or factory was in Franklin, Tennessee. And so Bill was convinced, out of all the thousands of parts that were made for transmissions and sent out to all the different teams, Bill was convinced that Doug Nash sent him a bad part to go in his transmission. So just so many things happened at the end of that year that were just unbelievable. Goodyear, the car they give you, they already had Bill's name on the gold-plated car that they give you. And so they couldn't present me with the car at the banquet because they didn't have one. That's how big a surprise it was. People were telling Bill he had it won, after the Labor Day race. So it was an interesting year, and it was kind of fun to come from behind and win it the way we did. And I think, mind games, I don't care if you're Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson, and Kasey will tell you can get in somebody's head real easy, and it's a big distraction.
Monty?
Monty Dutton, Justin Gisette. First, just a short thing. Darrell, was it that year or was it the following year that you and Neil Bonnet both drove Budweiser cars? I believe Neil's was solid red and yours was two-tone. Next year, or was it that year?
Well, actually, 84, 85, and 86.
All those years.
All 3 years, we were double Thunder. Neil's car was solid red, and we started with the red, white, and blue cars when Warner Hodgson first came up to juniors. That was in 84. Then in 85, the cars looked so much alike that I went to my red and white car like he's going to run tomorrow night, and Neil went to a solid red car.
Every driver has different traits. Dale Earnhardt, Intimidator. I know that you're not unbiased, but has anybody ever been better at getting under people's skin than you?
Apparently not. I don't know. Kasey, jump in here. Do you ever think about getting in somebody's head and messing with them? Does that ever enter your mind, or?
Not really.
It's just not who you are.
It has, though. I mean, at times it has in certain situations. But, right now, I don't have anybody in mind to go after. But yeah,
you would,
at times.
Right? You would do it.
I have in the past.
Yeah.
You can try. You can try to mess with someone.
Just, part
Doesn't
of it.
Doesn't always work. Sometimes it works.
Sometimes. See, people always say, oh, he's going to get even with him. Well, what people don't understand, if you've never driven a race car, and again, he knows, you don't have to wreck them. Matter of fact, it's a lot more fun when you don't wreck them. It's when they think you're going to wreck them that it's fun. It's when you look in the mirror, you go down the pit road to go out for practice, and you look in the mirror and you say, why is he behind me? Or when you get ready to turn into the garage from a tire sheet, you pull in front of them and block them so they can't maybe get into the garage when they're coasting in for a plug check. So the crew has to push the car from pit road all the way into the garage. There's all kinds of ways to mess with somebody without wrecking them. Matter of fact, wrecking them is too obvious. It's called a mind game. It's not called a wrecking game. So you can play around and do a lot of things that will absolutely worry that person to death. I think he's capable. And I think the guy he's doing it to is accepting it.
Well, and speaking of mind games, I think a lot of folks who are watching NASCAR on Fox Saturday night are going to have a mind game when they see this car out there. They're going to flip right back to 1985. It looks really good. Kasey, you've given us a little teaser with the retro fire suit, but for those of you who are interested in seeing the car, we're going to have Brian and Kasey and Darrell go out. You can get a picture of the car with them near it. So thank you very much. And Kasey, thanks, and Brian, thank you for honoring Darrell's 25th anniversary. I know it's really special for all of us at Fox, and it's going to be really fun to see on the racetrack.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.